Cain and Abel in the early days of humanity, long before nations rose or cities formed. Adam and Eve lived outside the Garden of Eden, raising their children in a world forever changed by their disobedience. Among these children were two sons: Cain, the firstborn, and Abel, his younger brother. Cain grew to become a farmer, working the soil, planting seeds, and harvesting crops. His life revolved around the field sunrises spent breaking the ground, days shaped by seasons, and evenings filled with the quiet rustling of plants. Abel chose a different path. He became a shepherd, moving with his flocks, listening to the call of the wilderness, guiding his sheep to fresh pastures. Though brothers, their lives unfolded in two very different rhythms. As time passed, both men learned from their parents about God, the Creator who had made the world and who still watched over them. They learned that honoring Him mattered, that worship wasn't an empty act, but a recognition of His greatness and their dependence on Him. One day, both decided to bring an offering to God. Cain gathered produce from his farm, grains, fruits, and vegetables he had worked hard to grow. Abel brought the firstborn of his flock, healthy, perfect animals, the best he had. When the moment came, they presented their offerings before God, and something unexpected happened. God looked with favor upon Abel's offering. Abel had given with sincerity, humility, and a heart fully turned toward God. His sacrifice was costly, sincere, and filled with trust. But Cain's offering did not receive the same approval. God saw deeper than the surface. He saw Cain's heart, pride, its carelessness, the lack of genuine devotion. The issue wasn't crops versus animals. It was the attitude behind the gift. Cain felt the rejection instantly. Jealousy surged. Anger rose. His face hardened, and his heart burned with resentment toward God, and especially toward his brother. God spoke to Cain gently. "Why are you angry? If you do what is right, won't you be accepted? But if you do not, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." It was a warning, a chance for Cain to turn back, but his anger continued to grow. One day, Cain said to Abel, "Let's go out to the field." Abel followed, unaware of what was stirring inside his brother. In the quiet of the open land, far from anyone's sight, Cain rose against Abel. Driven by jealousy and bitterness, he struck his brother down. Abel's life ended there in the field, innocent, unaware, faithful. Then came the voice of God. "Cain, where is your brother Abel?" Cain replied with a cold deflection, "I don't know, am I my brother's keeper?" But nothing is hidden from God. God said, "What have you done?" "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." And Cain's punishment was set. The land he had worked so long would no longer yield for him. He would become a wanderer, restless across the earth. Overwhelmed, Cain cried out, "My punishment is too great to bear. Anyone who finds me will kill me." Yet, even in judgment, God showed mercy. He placed a mark of protection on Cain so that no one would murder him. And Cain went east, away from his family, away from the presence he once knew, carrying the weight of his actions. Abel's life was short, but his faith still speaks. Cain's life became a warning, not just about anger or jealousy, but about the danger of letting sin take root when correction comes.